Finishing our chapter on operations on polynomials, we are dividing polynomials using long division. You will recognize this process as the same long division process you learned in probably 4th or 5th grade. So here we go. We're going to set up the polynomial that is being divided is called the dividend, and the thing we're dividing it by is called the divisor. We're going to set up our bracket. Under the bracket, we put the dividend, and then on the left, we put the divisor. Your first step is to divide the first term by the first term. So the first term in our dividend is x cubed. We would divide that by the first term in our divisor, which is x. X cubed divided by x is x squared. We're going to write that up here. When the answer is x squared, I like to write it above the x squared term that was in the dividend. The next step is to multiply. So the answer we got from 1, which was x squared, we're going to multiply that by the divisor. So I'm going to take x squared times x, which would give me x cubed, and then x squared times minus 3, which gives us minus 3x squared. The next step is to subtract. So when I take x cubed, subtract x cubed, that would be 0. I always think of subtract means add the opposite. So I would think of this as negative 11x squared plus positive 3x squared, which would give us negative 8x squared. Then we bring down the next term, so that 32x, we're just going to bring that down. And now we just repeat that same process. So now I take the first term, negative 8x squared, divided by the first term. So first term divided by first term. Negative 8x squared divided by x would be negative 8x. And after dividing first term by first term, we multiply. So I'm going to take the negative 8x times x. That gives me negative 8x squared. And then negative 8x times negative 3 gives us plus 24x. And then we subtract. When I take negative 8x squared minus negative 8x squared, that's 0. 32x minus 24x is 8x, and then bring down the next term. So repeating the process, again, we're back up to step 1. So we're dividing. I'll take 8x divided by x, which is 8. After we divide first term by first term, we multiply. So I'm going to take 8 times the divisor, which would give us 8x minus 24. After we multiply, we subtract. The x's would subtract out. Negative 26. I would think of this as negative 26 plus 24, because when we're subtracting, we're adding the opposite, which gives us negative 2. And then I have nothing left to bring down. This negative 2 is our remainder. And we're going to write the remainder over the divisor. So it was negative 2, so we do minus 2 over x minus 3. Okay, so let's try that one more time. Set up your bracket. We put the dividend under the bracket, and then we put our divisor on the left. We're going to take the first term divided by first term. 5x cubed divided by x gives us 5x squared. Then we multiply. We're going to take the 5x squared times our divisor, which is x minus 10. That would give us 5x cubed minus 50x squared. Then we subtract. So I would think of this, we know the x cubes subtract out, and then I'm thinking of this as negative 60 plus 50, which would be negative 10x squared. We just keep the variable part, and we're going to bring down the next term. Now we repeat those steps again, dividing. So negative 10x squared divided by x would be negative 10x. Now I'm going to take negative 10x times the divisor. So negative 10x times x is negative 10x squared. Negative 10x times negative 10 is plus 100x. Then we subtract. 102 minus 100 is 2. Keep the variable part, so we get 2x. Bring down that last term. So we know this is the last time we'll do this process. So I'm going to take 2x divided by x, which is 2. And then I take 2 times the divisor, which would give us 2x minus 20. And then we subtract. So subtract means add the opposite. All right, we know the x's would subtract out. I'm going to think of this as negative 15 plus 20, which would be 5. And that is our remainder. So we write our remainder over the divisor. Last example. Set up your bracket. Place the dividend under the bracket and your divisor on the left. Divide the first term by first term. N cubed divided by n will give us n squared. We're going to take n squared times our divisor. N squared times n gives us n cubed, and n squared times 7 gives us 7n squared. Then we subtract. So the n cubes subtract out. 2 minus 7 gives us negative 5. So we get negative 5n squared. Bring down the next term. Oh, what happened? Here's where we were. All right. Now divide. So we're going to take negative 5n squared divided by n. That would be negative 5n. Then I'm going to multiply negative 5n times the divisor. That would give us negative 5n squared minus 35n. And then we will subtract negative 41 minus negative 35. I'm thinking of that as negative 41 plus 35, which would give us 6, negative 6. Negative 6n. Bring down our last term. We'll do this process one more time. So I'm going to take the first term, negative 6n, divided by the first term of n. That would give us negative 6. And then I'm going to take negative 6 times the divisor, so I will get negative 6n minus 42. And then to subtract, subtract means add the opposite. The n terms would add out. Negative 48 plus 42 would be negative 6. And we write our remainder over the divisor.